Hey, it's Mr. Retro here, and I'm back again with another unboxing from Video Game Monthly. So let's jump in and check it out. So I've waited a little while to do this video. For those of you who don't know, I teach, so school has started back up, so I've kind of been getting back into swing of things, and so it's kind of limited my video game time and kind of extra stuff, like doing videos and stuff like that. So hopefully once I get back to my normal schedule at school, I can kind of get into a more consistent recording schedule, especially for things like this. Unboxings are one of my favorite things to do. So now this box feels very swollen, and you can kind of see it a little bit. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, so there's definitely a swell right here, which tells me that there might be some more things in there, big things. So let's kind of dive in and see. So I see quite a bit of things already off the top. So right here we have a little drink warmer or koozie. Play the past into the future. It's a Video Games Monthly kind of branded koozie for your sodas and bottles and all that good stuff. Awesome. So it's another Simply Share a photo of this month's box on their Facebook page, and they pick 2 random winners, and they receive 3 free games in their next box. So that's a pretty cool deal. So if you follow them on Facebook and you get a subscription to their service, just share your box and you could win. They do a lot of giveaways all the time. And if you guys want to check out Video Games Monthly, the link will be down in the description box below, so you can link in and check it out. I go and I get 5 games a month, which is kind of where I've set at, and which is a pretty good deal, because you get them to keep, and some of them are sealed, some of them are in great shape. Very, very spare, like very few times you ever get a disc that's kind of, or a game that's kind of in rough shape, but most of the time you get really good stuff. So, this is their thank you card that they put in there. And then I have a 1-up, so I received a free game. They do this often, and they kind of put a little card in there to tell you if you get a free game that in that box. So they throw in an extra game just for fun. So I see some good stuff in here. I see a PSP Patapow, and I've never played this game. It's a game that I've seen around a lot when I've checked out PSP games, but this is still sealed, and I think this is still the original seal. It's a greatest hits version for the PSP, and I love my PSP. I have 3 models of the PSP, the 1000, the 2000, and the 3000, I believe. I'm still looking for a good PSP Go and kind of pull the trigger on that. Try to find the right price on one. But I love my PSP. My favorite thing is actually to clean the discs, because they're kind of a pain. And if you don't know about UMDs, they come in like a special case. And that's the kind of format that they use. But this is really cool. It's still sealed, so this looks great. I'll crack this open. I'm not one to keep things sealed usually, unless it's super rare or something like that. But I just want to play. So that's an awesome find. I see a PS3 game, Dead Island Riptide, still sealed. I don't know if this is an original seal because it's a little loose, but it's still sealed, and that's pretty cool. It looks to be in good shape. It kind of, I think in transit, it's kind of been depressed down a little bit, but I'm sure the disc inside is fine. But yeah, this is a PS3 game, Dead Island. Pretty interesting. Awesome. So I see some good stuff in here. I see Mickey Mousecapade for the original Nintendo, the NES. Now, the cartridge looks good. Just a few little scuff marks, light wear. Label looks pretty good. Starting to come up a little bit on this corner, but nothing major. It looks really nice. Inside, I see a little bit of some gunk that I can scratch off there. But the label looks pretty good, except for right there on that corner, but not too bad. And the cart looks pretty good, I think. Yeah. So Mickey Mousecapade for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I also see Tecmo Super Bowl for the Super Nintendo. I don't have a whole lot of Super Nintendo games, so this will be good. And I love old football games. Newer football games and newer sports games aren't usually my thing, but older ones I can really get into. I don't know what it is. It may just be the simplicity of it, but I really get into older sports titles. One of my favorite sports titles is Jordan versus Bird on the Sega Genesis. The slam dunk contest is really cool. Also, I really love Madden 92 for the Sega Genesis. Some really cool stuff in there. Lots of memories built on that. But this cartridge looks to be in pretty good shape. Just a little light wear on the label itself. Cartridge looks very clean. Very nice. Yeah, pretty good. So, Tecmo Super Bowl for the Super Nintendo. I see a Sega Genesis game with the case. This makes me so happy. Sega Genesis is pretty much the only system that I'm going to be actively trying to get a full set for. So getting a case with the actual artwork, original artwork in there is a must. On some of the Sega Genesis cases, they have a little piece of plastic that's above here that is where they kind of hang it on a rack. And you can tell that this person kind of broke it off here. To kind of give you an example, I have a game. Here it is. So I have Toy Story for the Sega Genesis, and you can kind of see this tab that goes to kind of hang it on there. And this one, if you can see right there, let me see if you can see that right there. So you can kind of see the plastic is ripped off right in there. So they kind of took that tab off. Not a huge deal. I don't need the cases to look completely perfect, but just having the case is pretty nice. So let's look inside. The case does look really nice, though. Before I look inside, looks to be in great shape. Inside, I see that manual. I love getting the manuals. Manual's a little beat up, especially on the cover page. But everything else looks pretty good. It's a black and white manual, which is fine. I've never played this game. I never said this game either. This is Super Monaco GP2. So this would be a racing game. And it looks to be almost like a racing simulator from the artwork on the back. So I love some of these old racing games like Road Rash, of course. I have Hard Drivin' for the Sega Genesis. This cart looks to be in great shape. Very, very little wear on the label. No corners popping up. Cartridge looks good. Pretty good. Inside, it's the original case. But pretty nice. So, Super Monaco 2 GP or Super Monaco GP2 Grand Prix. So, for the Sega Genesis. Awesome. And one last game. This, I guess, would be the extra game. Is for the Game Boy Advance, and it's Namco Museum. Namco Museum. So, it's probably got a collection of Namco games, I'm sure. So, some good arcade classics and things like that. But that comes for the Game Boy Advance. And I'll let you kind of take a look at that. The cartridge is pretty simple. Not too much to it. It would be nice to actually get the cardboard box that came with these. But I understand that those things fall apart. It's hard getting them for any system that has a cardboard case. But great. I love Game Boy Advance. I love the system. I really like the original design for the Game Boy Advance, that kind of wider set. It's a shame that when they made the SP, they didn't kind of keep some of that, because I like playing on my SP because of the backlit screen, but it just, I feel like my hands are kind of smashed right next to each other. So with the Game Boy Advance, at least the original one, I really like that wide set on it. So that'll be a good one to play on there. And that seems to be it. I do have some bubble wrap, which I will let my 4-year-old pop later, because she loves to pop bubble wrap. But if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more content from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And when you want to be notified when I upload another video, you can hit that bell next to the subscribe button. But thank you guys for watching. If you want to follow me on any of my social media handles, they'll all be down in the description box below, or you can just type Mr. Retro in Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So, again, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.